Zed, Denzel Prempe, and Nanamwa. With that powerful praise, bringing us to 6:30. This is a business breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. Thank you very much for choosing us this morning. Some back to back praises. All right, let me run you through what we have for you this morning. Of course, we are starting with our news review segment. And then right after that, Samuela entry comes your way with business news. And then, of course, Lukman Evergreen Moomin takes over with Sports Flash, keeping you updated in the world of sports. And then I come your way with Business Brief. And then up next is Solomon Tetenate with Transport Today, giving you all the updates on the local flight schedules and also the traffic situation in town, just to help you navigate the capital this morning. And then, of course, right after that, we come your way with market trends with Emmanuel Boateng, and then we wrap up with a roundtable discussion. And today we're talking about how to bounce back in your business after a downturn. So a fantastic conversation you don't want to miss. It's going to be a great morning here. You know how we do it on your lifestyle, your leisure and business platform, Z101.9 FM. All right, so let's get started with our news review segment right away. Stay tuned. Right, thank you very much for taking and staying with us. And let me run you through a few of the headlines this morning on our news review on the New Finder newspaper, really. So on the front page of the New Finder newspaper, I have, so this one says Ghana T-bill auction undersubscribed for second week, and also CSR, a game changer for small businesses, coming from a com expert. Stories on page 2 of the New Finder newspaper. And also Ghana ranks 9th among Africa's top borrowers from China with $6.1 billion debt. And also this one says that early prostate screening can save lives. And Ghana risks EU fish import ban by 2026. And also economists calls for energy sector reforms ahead of new levies. And also Ghana Health Service urges nurses and midwives to end strike. And Ghana Health Service and also Ghana TB. Okay, this one has been read. Okay, Environment Minister backs styrofoam ban over plastic crisis. And 12 excavators seized in anti-Galamsey raid at Offing Forest. And GRA sticks to petroleum tax rules and ramps up enforcement. And Zoomlion teams up with Zanzibar to revolutionize waste management. And also Cocoa CEO warns indigenous cocoa buyers face collapse. And GPRTU halts strike over postponed fuel tax. And AU disputes Fitch downgrade of Afri-Exim Bank. and OMCs begin new fuel levy on June 16th, sorry, and also city trades at 10 cedi to 24 pesos to US dollar and continues to show strength. All right, I have joining me over the phone lines Michael Akpene Afolabi, but just before that, let me do a few of the other online portals and then we can break them down. This one says that the top story on myjoyonline.com is that striking nurses did not create opportunity to talk, and that is coming from the Labour Minister. And also, it says that this is a new administration. Dr. Pelpo urges nurses to reconsider strike tactics. And also, trial is not a Zoom call. Samson Ayenini demands respect for due process. And this one says all is set for 2025 BC, more than 600,000 to sit coming from GES. And African Union Agency says Fitch downgrade of Afri-Exim Bank is flawed. And this one also says car loaded with alleged parcels of Indian hemp involved in accident at Akachi. And also, nurses didn't exhaust all avenues before declaring strike. Health Committee Chairman says that. And OSP versus Oforiatta trial without the accused is a betrayal of justice, says Samson Ladi Ayenini. And on City Newsroom, Oforiatta's family petitions National Central Bureau (CCF) for deletion of Interpol red notice. And diverting bank reserves to Cocoa Board risks monetary stability, Tiahini warns. And on the fuel levy, it says that commercial transport operators suspend nationwide strike. And Parliament to draft law supporting lifestyle audits, and coming from Bagwin. And also, Anglo Gold Ashanti reaffirms commitment to shared benefits in Ghana's mining sector, and Gold Board will clean up mess in gold trade, coming from Sami Jemfi. And also, don't rush styrofoam ban, explore alternatives first, coming from the EPA to government. And consumers to bear brunt of one Ghana cedi fuel levy. And also, new petroleum tax bites harder than global price hikes, coming from COMAC. And blame government if lives are lost, coming from the GRNMA, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. Well, these are a few of the headlines. Michael Akpene Afolabi is over the phone lines, and he'll be breaking down the headlines with me this morning. Michael, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Raphael. I'm doing well. And good morning to you and our listeners as well.
Well, thank you very much for making time this morning to speak to me. So, I mean, there are lots of things in the news, and we'll try and break a few of them down this morning. Maybe let's start with a new Finder newspaper. This one says that CSR is a game changer for small businesses, and stories on page 2. Maybe I just read a portion of that one, and then we can. You can take a bite on that. It says that corporate communication expert Nana Kwesi Akwe has emphasized the vital role of corporate social responsibility in brand development and access to global investment opportunities, urging startups and small businesses to make social impact a key part of their operations. CSR has increasingly become a strategic priority for businesses worldwide, moving beyond philanthropy to become a key element of brand positioning, stakeholder engagement, and sustainability efforts. In Ghana, awareness of CSR's role in community development and business success is growing, particularly among startups and small and medium-sized enterprises. However, many SMEs still view CSR as a domain of large corporations, often overlooking the long-term benefits of integrating social impact into their business models. So speaking on Business Breakfast on Zed, Mr. Akwe stated that giving back to the community is no longer optional but essential for any business seeking long-term growth and public goodwill. Mike, that is that on the CSR. I don't know if you have anything to say on that.
I mean, it's very, very rightly stated by the communications expert. CSR is important regardless of the size of the company, because no matter what you do, you are a company residing in a community, right? Fine. There are people who, regardless of what is going to happen, you access your services.
Yeah.
But don't take for granted those who look at what you do in the community before trying to access your service. Even in church, right? The churches we attend. Some people choose to attend a church because of the church's impact on the lives of the members. That's the social and physical impact, not just the spiritual, before choosing to attend that church. So companies too, regardless of how small they are, of course, once you have a small company, you focus on the small things and leave the big things for the big companies. But still do some CSR. It will boost investment like you rightly put it. And it will go a long way to improve the company's image.
Absolutely, and it doesn't necessarily have to be anything big, like you said.
It
could be something very small.
Very small.
Very small. For instance, BC, people are about to write BC, and a business in a particular community could say, "Oh, let me just buy pens and share to these people," and that is also
yes, I mean, it's still yes.
Absolutely. Well, of course. So I'm sure people are listening to us, and maybe they would be thinking along those lines. But that's very, very important. Well, Ghana ranks 9th among Africa's top borrowers from China, with a debt of $6.1 billion. Michael,
China has been one of our major development partners in recent times. With their Belt and Road Initiative supporting road infrastructure and building of other facilities and all that.
Yeah.
And we couldn't think that all of that is for free. From the news reports we have seen, $6.1 billion in debt. It's quite a lot of money. I don't even know what to,
out of
all the
50 something 54 right
or 55 African
countries, yeah,
and we are number 9. I'm wondering how are we going to take care.
But how did we get here?
Yes, like I said, China in recent times has been engaging in the Belt and Road Initiative throughout Africa. Different countries in Africa have benefited from China's new intention of improving infrastructure on the continent with rail, road, infrastructure such as schools, hospitals. I mean, we see a lot of China aid schools and hospitals. I think the Lekma Hospital is one. There's a school somewhere in Accra also, China aid, some of our roads,
even the harbor, I think, I don't know whether it's Jamestown Fishing Harbor, I don't know how they call it. Yeah, but there's also, I think it's a Chinese project.
All these things are not free. They are all loans that are given to us, you see. So this debt we will have to pay. But going forward, if I don't think we should let the idea of Ghana beyond it back. This is the time we should actually begin implementing it. Find a way to innovatively engage in these projects by ourselves. We should trust our local contractors to do our roads. We should use internally generated funds to build our hospitals, our schools, and other facilities that we need. And we can significantly reduce this debt as long as we because we will always need roads, we'll always need rail, we will always need schools, hospitals, always need them. And we can't continue consulting these countries for money or loans to build them, right? Otherwise, we'll continue to be in debt, and it's going to affect. For these leaders, they are almost done with their political life. Those of us who are coming up, we are the ones going to carry on this debt into the future, and we don't know the terms that the next generation of Chinese leaders will come with for paying on the loans, which can even strangle us all together.
Usually the collateral for some of these arrangements are very serious, and usually as a national resources we can talk about the national. So sometimes it's our gold, it's our all the resources that we have.
Yeah, I think in one of the African countries, the collateral they provided was either their airports or their electricity,
Just
their
look at
national
that.
electricity company. As a collateral for a loan from China. So the Chinese have taken over. I'm not sure whether it's the airport or the electricity company, but the Chinese have taken over that asset, right?
Just look at that.
The Chinese have taken over that asset. And if it's $6.1 billion, I'm just imagining the number of assets we have used for collateral so far for each loan.
Exactly.
It's very unfortunate.
I always say that Africa's problems are some very basic things, but we lack leadership to actually rise to the occasion and say this is what we are doing, this is the direction we are going. We will suffer for some time, but let's suffer and make sure that we correct things. And everybody comes and they just play along, just the same way. And very soon we're going to see government also go borrow. We saw what the previous government did in terms of borrowing and all of that. And very soon we're going to see this current government also go around and do the same thing.
They can't wait to enter the capital market, honestly. They can't wait. And that is how we run our system in this country. And it's hurting us so bad. So we need innovative leadership that focuses on. In fact, when we are talking about homegrown policies, there should be homegrown policies for infrastructure and all other forms of development, which we usually borrow money from other countries to undertake. We need to look at the amount of money we spend on importing food, rice and oil and chicken and all that. We can cut all that cost and use that money for better things, right?
Yeah.
Use that money for better things. The Chinese are building your road, and then they are importing the equipment still. The Chinese are constructing your railways, and they are importing equipment still. Once upon a time we could produce some of these equipment. What has happened to all those factories?
We use them as collaterals for all kinds of things, for all kinds of loans.
You see, so oh my goodness, it's so sad. Sometimes it's sad to be a Ghanaian, but we just have to hang on to hope.
There is hope. I mean, there is hope. We're still trusting that things will get better with time, because it is worrying, and I think that is actually what is leading to a lot of, the brain drain that we see. A lot of young people leaving the country and all of that because they've lost hope.
Yeah.
Because if we are accruing debts, and this is just China, this is just China. This is not.
The U.S., the banks, the World Bank.
The Bretton Woods institutions. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Anyway, let's move on to other stories. So yesterday we started talking about the levy, and I think that there's been an update. GRA has postponed it to June 16, following the call from the OMCs, yes, and I think that's something good. I think yesterday we were saying that we wanted to see whether the GRA was going to respond, and this is quite positive.
Very, very positive. They have shown that they are reasonable. They are a reasonable institution that considers the needs of those who are actually at the market, selling the fuel, buying the fuel every single day, every single time. It would have been very, very, very amiss on GRA's part to ignore their calls and continue with the rollout of the levy.
Right.
It would have been dangerous. So it's good that they are taking this decision.
Yeah, but in the interim, I think that is just to help them to be able to implement it well. Because they are definitely going to face some implementation challenges if it was implemented yesterday.
Even by the 16th June, maybe not all the issues will be settled, but compared to the number of challenges they would have had yesterday, so it will reduce significantly.
Absolutely.
Reduce significantly. It's very, very good that GRA stepped in.
And the good news also is that GPRTU has decided not to strike anymore. Initially they were going to strike for for that. Let me look for that story. I think I saw it on City newsroom. This one's, where's that? Let me look for that. And okay, yeah, but I think that is
the new finder too.
It's also in the new finder, right? Okay, then I probably saw it in the page 7 of the new finder, right? I think that is where I saw it then. Okay, yes. So GPRT halt strike over postponed for tax, and maybe just a portion of that. It says that the Ghana Private Road Transport Union has suspended its planned nationwide strike following the government's decision to postpone the implementation of the controversial one Ghana cedi fuel levy. And right, I think that is that. Let's do a few other stories, and then we can go. All right. This one says that. Okay, let me see. I was trying to get a story from. Okay, let's do some on my joy. The strike by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. It's been in the news for some time, and a lot of I haven't heard of anybody who has passed as a result of the strike. But the GRNMA is saying that we should blame government if lives are lost. Meanwhile, government is also taking a position and says that Dr. Propo, who is a labor minister, says that this is a new administration, and so they need to reconsider their strike tactics. And he also said that they are more shocked and they're worried over the strike without consultation. And so it's a back and forth. I don't know what exactly the issues are in there. But what do you have to say, Mike?
Yeah. And I think we can't pinpoint the issue because the nurses have not sat down with government to discuss issues. I feel for the nurses. They are struggling a lot. They go through a lot each day, and then only for them to have the allowances and other takes that would come with their work delayed, using their interest in continuing to serve the country in the hospitals. So the strike is coming from a place of frustration for them. But in the midst of their frustration, it's still very important that, look, like Dr. Topo said, this is a new government. It just rolled out its budget, still trying to do allocations, raising money where it's supposed to raise, to be raised from to finance the budget, among other things. The best thing that the leadership of the registered nurses and midwives authority, our association, would have done was to sit down with the labor minister and then discuss. Put your issues down. Government also puts their issues down. Like what the TUC did when it came to the issue of salary increment, that even caused the president step into that meeting and then negotiate with them, right, on the terms for the salary increment. The same thing could have been done with regards to the nurses, but they just open on to strike action. Just like that, it's not an entirely good call. I mean, they want to force the hand of government. I think they've done enough, more than enough, to do so. So they should try to sit with government and then discuss issues.
But so according to them, they are open to talks, but they are not open to any renegotiation. So so I understand that there are certain things that they've requested for they've actually agreed to in the past. I mean, I think with the previous government or so, and this government hasn't implemented any of those things. Now, but before that, I saw a post by one nurse who actually talked about his experience during COVID-19, the period. He worked as one of the there was a name we used to call them frontline, the frontline health workers.
Yeah, frontline.
Yes. And he was very active in whatever they were doing and all of that. He says he caught COVID, I think twice or so, and he had to pay his own bills. He had to do everything paying the bills in the same hospital that they work with. It means that there weren't certain things in place for them in such emergency cases. And for him, he thinks that the government doesn't take them very serious, and so there's a need for government to give them those things that they are calling for, right? And they are saying that strike is their only weapon to make governments listen. But I don't think we should get to this point. What can government do? Does government have the means? Is it that government just doesn't want to mind? What exactly are the issues? And I hope, you want to say something?
Oh, no, please proceed.
So there are lots of things that come into play there. I'm not too sure what is actually dragging the whole thing. I don't know.
They need to sit down and talk. Right? They need to sit down and talk. I mean, like I said earlier, the nurses go through so much. They sacrifice so much for their profession, which will not be so. When you go to other countries, nurses benefit a lot more than other people in some other professions, because the government in those countries understand the value nurses bring on board. Right? Nurses are like the bridge between the patient and then the medical service that they want to access.
Right.
So if the nurses are not in the hospital, where does the patient go? Right? How will you even know whether the doctor is there or the doctor is not there? Imagine you get in, there's no nurse, so you form a queue, then get to your turn and you realize that the consulting room is locked, the doctor didn't come. Wasted time. Right?
Yeah.
But we need to treat them well. But let's sit down with them and then discuss issues so that we can find a way forward.
But here lies the case that they are not willing to sit down and anyway, it's actually very dicey. I hope that I mean, let me use this platform to call on them to rethink their decision. I mean, we can only because we can't afford to lose lives. I mean, I think it's happened in the past where they strike and then people lose their lives. And I don't think it is right. But government should also come to their aid, listen to what exactly they are calling for, and try to do that for them. And I think will be good. Will be good if they are able to do that. Michael, let me hear your thoughts on this one. You are a law person. Trial without the accused is a betrayal of justice, and that's coming from Samson Ladiainini on the OSP versus Oforiatta issue. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Yes. At all times when there's a trial for an accused person, that person has to be present to defend themselves. Right?
Yeah.
We don't want a situation of a trial in absentia where the court, based on your absence, is forced to make a judgment without you present over there, which will in the long run affect you. And so it's very, very important that you enter appearance into the court so that the due process can follow through.
Right.
I mean, I believe it's in reference to the issue of the finance minister, who is unable to come into the country. I think that really he should try his best.
No, but he's not well. He says he's not well. So
but investigations from the OSP's office is telling us that they do not know which hospital he's taking the surgery in, and among other things, the information on his medical issues are some way is scanty, right? So making the whole thing look like there's some foul play somewhere, but without his presence, the issues can.
But if we say that, I mean, crime has no expiry date, or that's not how you guys say it, then why don't we give him the benefit of the doubt, and then he comes when he's well. Those are my thoughts. I don't know.
Trust me, then he might never come.
Really? Anyway,
if a criminal, right? If you are alleged to have stolen something and they say come to court, you will find a way to run away.
But if you've not done anything, you will come, right?
So if you've not done anything, come and tell us you've not done anything. I think that is what the OSP is saying. If indeed you have not committed any of the crimes that are alleged you have committed, come and tell us that you have not done anything. It's a matter of writing letters. It's not a matter of phone calls. Come.
Right.
Let's hear you of the story. Tell us that you've not done anything. Then based on that, we can acquit you, or if if there's evidence to prove that you actually did something, then we can present it to you and say, look, you said you have not done anything, but this is the evidence. These are the crimes you have committed for which we are bringing you here, right? So the presence is extremely necessary and important. I don't know how long the OSP would like to wait, like you're saying that they should wait for him. I don't know, but as long as he has not arrived, I'm sure he will continue to remain on the OSP's wanted list, and maybe the Interpol red notice list as well. Yes, the red notice. So he should try. There should be a way to make sure that he's present in town to face the service presented before him. If he's acquitted at the end of the day, he can go back to take care of his health.
Right. Okay, Michael, thank you very much for your time. Our time is up and we have to go, but I'm grateful that you made time. All right. That was Michael Akbene Afolabi, a news review pundit here, helping me break down the headlines this morning. Well, up next is Business News with Samuel Entry. Please stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to the business news segment on Business Breakfast on Zed. I am Samuela Intri. Coming up shortly in the bulletin, GSS urges government to sustain disinflation with food, utility support and regional interventions. And also government misses T-bill target for second week, accept 5.47 billion Ghana cedis in bid, and Ghana pushes for AGOA renewal amid rising U.S. tariffs and trade tensions. And now let's settle for the details. Ghana's inflation continues its steady decline, dropping to 18.4% in May 2025, the lowest since February 2022, according to the Ghana Statistical Service. Monthly inflation also eased to 0.7% from 0.8% in April, signaling signs of short-term price stability. But the Ghana Statistical Service says more work is needed to sustain this progress. Government statistician Dr. Alassane Idrisu is calling on the government to invest in targeted interventions, particularly in food logistics, utilities, and support for high inflation regions like the Upper West, where inflation still hovers above 38%. Key inflation drivers in Upper West include food at 43.9%, education services at 57.6%, and housing and utilities at a staggering 124.3%. The Ghana Statistical Service warns that without targeted support in these sectors, nationwide price stability could be derailed. Dr. Idrisu urged the government to improve food transport and irrigation systems to curb post-harvest losses and lower food inflation, which still remains the biggest contributor to overall inflation, despite falling to 22.8% in May. He also called for expanded social protection programs to shield vulnerable groups, especially in regions where food and education costs are spiraling. On the macroeconomic front, Dr. Idrisu advocated stronger collaboration between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to closely monitor inflation drivers and align monetary and fiscal policies as needed. Meanwhile, households are being encouraged to adopt budget-friendly habits like bulk food purchases and using the National Health Insurance Scheme to cut healthcare costs, with health inflation standing at 20.1%. For businesses, the Ghana Statistical Service recommends sourcing locally and avoiding unnecessary price hikes as this inflation gathers pace. Away from that, Ghana is taking bold steps to revitalize its fisheries sector with a new bill aimed at lifting the 5-year-old yellow card warning imposed by the European Union. The revised Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill, currently under parliamentary review, seeks to modernize the industry, enhance monitoring, and curb illegal fishing. Key concerns that prompted the EU's 2019 warning over illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing, or IUU. At a stakeholder consultative meeting in Accra, Fisheries Minister Emilia Arthur said the new legislation will align Ghana's regulatory framework with international standards, ensuring sustainability and restoring full access to the EU seafood market, one of Ghana's largest. Mrs. Arthur warned that failure to act swiftly could result in a red card from the EU, which would ban Ghanaian fish export entirely. She revealed that the bill will introduce stricter vessel monitoring, improved data systems, stronger penalties, and environmental safeguards to protect marine ecosystems and rebuild fish stocks. Ghana's fisheries sector is a vital pillar of the economy, contributing 60% of the country's animal protein and supporting nearly 3 million jobs. However, illegal trawling and weak enforcement have depleted resources and strained coastal communities. A Ghanaian fisheries law expert based in Australia is currently reviewing the final draft, with clause-by-clause parliamentary consideration expected soon. Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Food, Agriculture and Cocoa Affairs, Dr. Godfred Seidu Jasso, commended the collaborative spirit of the legislative process and stressed the need for stakeholder ownership in shaping the law. He said the new bill is essential for long-term food security, economic resilience, and environmental stewardship. Minister Arthur also expressed optimism that Ghana's progress could be showcased at the upcoming United Nations Oceans Conference. Ghana is stepping up efforts to secure the renewal of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, as U.S. trade policy shifts threaten the country's export competitiveness. Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry Elizabeth Ofosu-Adjare led a high-level Ghanaian delegation to Washington, D.C. on Monday, June 9th, where she held crucial talks with senior U.S. officials on the future of AGOA and broader trade relations. The meeting comes on the heels of new U.S. tariffs, 10% on global imports under President Trump's America First trade stance, which have begun impacting Ghanaian export. Minister Ofosu-Adjare described AGOA as a win-win agreement that has helped attract significant U.S. investment, particularly in Ghana's garment and textile industries. She strongly advocated for its renewal ahead of its scheduled expiry in September 2025. Also discussed were Ghana's local content laws, the importation of overaged vehicles and excavators, and outstanding debt owed to American companies, all of which the minister assured are being addressed. Minister Ofosu-Adjare is expected to continue consultations in the coming weeks, including meetings with the U.S. Trade Representative. And to a last story for the bulletin, the government has once again missed its target in the weekly Treasury bill auction, falling short of its 6.67 billion Ghana cedis goal for the second consecutive week. According to results released by the Bank of Ghana, a total of 5.47 billion Ghana cedis in bids were tendered by investors during the auction. However, the government accepted only 4.376 billion Ghana cedis, rejecting over 1.09 billion Ghana cedis in bids. This, officials say, is part of efforts to manage borrowing costs and reduce the interest burden on public debt. The majority of bids came from the popular 91-day Treasury bill, which attracted 3.5 billion Ghana cedis, making up more than 64% of total bids. Government, however, maintained the interest rate on the 91-day bill at 14.79%. For the 182-day bill, 1.8 billion Ghana cedis in bids were received, out of which 1.67 billion Ghana cedis were accepted. The yield dropped slightly to 15.45%. Meanwhile, bids for the 364-day totaled 157 million Ghana cedis, but government took up only 48 million Ghana cedis. The rate on the one-year bill also dropped to 15.71%, down by 12 basis points. The auction results show the government is continuing its push to drive down interest rates while still raising short-term funds to finance its operations. And that's what we have for the business news segment on Business Breakfast on Zed. But before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. GSS has urged government to sustain disinflation with food, utility support and regional interventions. And Ghana has pushed for AGOA renewal amid rising U.S. tariffs and trade tensions. And government has missed T-bill target for the second week and has accepted 5.47 billion Ghana cedis in bids. You can get more business news on www.zmultimedia.com. I am Samuela Intri. Thanks for listening. Up next, a Sports Flash with Lukeman Evergreen Moment.
You're tuned in to Zed 101.9 FM, your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
The stage is set for something special.
It is time to go racing.
Garnacho! Oh wow! Oh wow! LeBron James with no regard for human life.
You couldn't write a script like this.
Here's Metzer, this is positive. Williams! Kudos! The Korean joy did not last for long.
Oh my gosh, kudos.
Step back for Partey! Oh yes, Thomas Partey!
Hello, good morning. It's time for Sports Flash on the Business Breakfast on Zed. My name is Lukeman Evergreen Moment. Tariq Lamptey has struck a new deal in England. Antoine Semenyo could leave Bournemouth in the current transfer window. Meanwhile, Manchester City have completed another move. There were games in the World Cup qualifiers in Europe, and we also have some tennis news for you this morning. But then we begin with news in the Ghana Premier League. Accra Lions head coach Rainer Kraft has issued an apology to supporters following the club's relegation from the Ghana Premier League after a humbling 4-0 loss to champions Gold Stars on the final day of the 2024-2025 season. Meanwhile, Accra Lions Chief Executive Officer Nana Obri Yeboah has accepted the club's fate following their relegation to the Division 1 League after a tough 2024-2025 season. The exciting and youthful side suffered demotion 4 years after qualifying for the Top Flight League.
The table is a fair reflection of our quality, and we've not performed well. Yes, that is definitely you're not going to have the like-for-like quality in terms of players moving out and others coming in. It's not going to just settle in that way. It can turn out to be good when you have new players coming on board, but then for this season, we never expected this. The recruitment didn't go well in terms of players getting used to how we play. They couldn't take control of the league, and performances haven't been good. We conceded too many goals. Our play wasn't consistent. I think it's been a bad season for us.
Well, so that was the Chief Executive Officer of Accra Lions speaking there. Still in the Ghana Premier League, BBN Gold Stars defender William Denchi has shared his excitement after winning his second Ghana Premier League title in 5 years. The former Accra House of Oak left-back played as the Miners ended the 2024-2025 season as Ghana Premier League champions following a thumping 4-0 win against Accra Lions on Sunday. Now, Denchi won 1 Ghana Premier League and 2 FA Cups during his time at Accra House of Oak before reaching the 2022-2023 final of the cup competition with Kumasi King Faisal. But the Kumasi-based club lost in that final against Dreams FC in the FA Cup. Now, after leaving King Faisal, he joined Gold Stars, where he is now a Premier League winner again.
Oh, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling because to be winning more awards, you cannot be relaxed after 1 award. At least you wanted to win more, so I'm just a happy man right now.
That was William Denchi, very happy after winning another Ghana Premier League title. What it means is that he's now won 4 major trophies in the last 5 seasons in the Ghana Premier League. Away from domestic football, 2 Ghanaian players abroad, Tariq Lamptey has committed his immediate future to Brighton and Hove Albion after signing a 1-year contract extension, the club announced on Monday. The deal will keep the versatile right back at the Seagulls until the end of the 2025-2026 season. Meanwhile, Tottenham Hotspurs have not given up on their desire to sign Ghana international Antoine Semenyo this summer. According to Sky Sports News, the Europa League champions have stepped up their pursuit to secure the services of the AFC Bournemouth striker. Elsewhere, John Batigi has taken another major step in his football career, sealing a move to Danish club AC Horsens on a 4-year deal. The 18-year-old Ghanaian forward joins from Bulgarian outfit Bodev Plodiv, where his dynamic performances attracted interest from several top European clubs. To the World Cup qualifiers in Europe, Wales sensationally stormed back from 3 goals down to level with Belgium in Brussels, only for Kevin De Bruyne's late winner to inflict a dramatic first defeat on Craig Bellamy and knock his team off the top of the World Cup qualifying group. Now, Wales manager Craig Bellamy expressed mixed emotions after the game.
No, disappointment, of course, because we lost, but immensely proud. Yeah, it was like, obviously my emotions a little bit, but yeah, overwhelmingly proud. And it doesn't mean that I accept defeats, and I feel it's a valiant effort by a Welsh team. No, our quality second half especially was what I was really proud of, and that was really pleasing.
Well, that was Craig Bellamy, a former player of Manchester City who is now the manager of Wales. Elsewhere, Erling Haaland scored the only goal as Norway defeated Estonia. Italy defeated Moldova by 2-0. Kazakhstan lost to North Macedonia 1-0, and Luka Modric inspired Croatia to a 5-1 victory over Czech Republic. So with international football, Thomas Tuchel has encouraged his England team to play as they train with smiles on their faces. The German was critical of the performance of the team as they labored to a 1-0 win over Minos and Andorra over the weekend. They will be playing Senegal in a friendly later today, and he has been speaking about the team's preparations.
We have also reasons to let all of them play again and say let's do stuff a little bit better and find our rhythm together and find the connections. But we have also reports from the physical department, of course, that there are some players are flagged with slight concerns or like with worries or like just the observation that they had a lot of acceleration, deceleration, a lot of sprints. So let's see, it's only the second day after the match. It's still a day where we have to be cautious, and it could also make sense to put some fresh players, fresh legs who really deserve to play and had some tight decisions. So maybe it will be a mix between the both.
Well, that was Thomas Tuchel, who is the manager of the English football national team. To some sad news, a fan died after falling from the stands during Sunday's Nations League final between Spain and Portugal in Munich. The man from Bavaria fell from the middle tier into the lower tier and then onto a staircase in the media area at the Allianz Arena. He died at the scene from his injuries. To transfer news, Manchester City have signed Wolverhampton Wanderers left back Ryan Aït-Nouri for £31 million. The 24-year-old Algeria defender has signed a contract until 2030 and is available for the group stage of the Club World Cup, which will start this weekend in the United States of America. Now, City begin their campaign in the newly expanded tournament against Moroccan club Wydad AC on June 18th. Now, Champions League runners-up Inter Milan have appointed Parma boss Christian Chiuvu as their new manager. The 44-year-old, a former defender and youth team coach at Inter, leaves Parma after only 13 matches in charge and replaces Simeone Inzaghi. Tottenham have opened talks with Brentford over their head coach Thomas Frank following the sacking of Ange Postecoglou. The Dane has emerged as a leading contender to replace Postecoglou, and Brentford would be entitled to compensation for Frank, with sources indicating it would cost Tottenham more than £10 million to extricate him from his contract, which runs until 2027. Finally, to some tennis news, Andy Murray is open to a return to coaching at some stage, but says he still has plenty to learn about the role. The 38-year-old, who retired from tennis at the 2024 Olympic Games, joined longtime rival Novak Djokovic's coaching team last November. However, the pair parted company in May 2025 after just 4 tournaments together, with the former world number 1 Djokovic stating he couldn't get more out of their partnership. That will be all for sports this morning. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moment. Business Breakfast on Zed continues with Trebi Hammond.
Dream home. No interest for 2 years. Are you ready to step into your dream home? With Lakeside Estate's exclusive offer, you can own your own home in just 2 years with no interest repayment. This offers you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, and lifestyle choice. Choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of Lakeside Hills clusters. Your future awaits you. Imagine living in a home you love with the freedom to invest in your dreams without the burden of interest. As your CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. Call us today on 020-477-5040 or 020-141-8622. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour for our available homes. T&C Supply. Make your dream a reality. Lakeside Estate. Quality homes for all.
Stay tuned to your lifestyle, leisure, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Okay, can we do this?
welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us here on the Business Breakfast on Zed. All right, earlier on you had the Lukman Evergreen Movement with Sports Flash, and also Samuela Inchi came your way with business news. It's now time for us to get into our business brief this morning, and today we're talking about something very powerful: the strategies for reviving businesses after downturn. Please don't go anywhere. I bring you that. So this morning on Business Brief, I want us to reflect on something both sobering and also deeply necessary. Let's talk about business downturns, and more importantly, how we rise after them. Now, let me start with the hard truth. According to the World Bank, more than half of small and medium-sized enterprises globally do not survive after a severe economic shock. And let me repeat that. According to the World Bank, more than half of small and medium-sized businesses or enterprises globally do not survive a severe economic shock. Now, the COVID-19 alone shocked thousands of African businesses to the ground. The stats are there. A study by the African Development Bank revealed that over 75% of small businesses on the continent saw revenue decline of over 60% during the pandemic. Over 75% of small businesses on this African continent saw revenue declines of over 60% during the pandemic. And here in Ghana, the Ghana Statistical Service found that fewer than 3 in 10 businesses had any form of recovery plan. So yes, downturns are real and they are brutal. But the good news is that some businesses are able to come back. And some don't just come back, they reinvent themselves and they're able to do way better. The difference between a company that is able to come back and another one that is not able to come back is simply strategy. And that is why today's discussion is about strategies for reviving businesses after a downturn. Now, when I talk about downturn, not always a pandemic or a global crash. Sometimes it is a big client pulling out of your business. Sometimes it's inflation, it's mismanagement, or maybe a bad decision that actually went south. It could even be leadership burnout. Whatever the cause, the results are usually the same. There's always a dip in revenue, some layoffs, you lose customers, and then maybe there's also some self-doubt at the end of the day. But here's what I want you to remember this morning, that a downturn is not the end of your business. I don't care. I don't care what business you're running, but a downturn is not the end of your business. Maybe you are saying you don't know the kind of business I'm running. If I get a downturn, that's the end for me. But I want you to know that a downturn is not the end of your business. It is a call to action. It's an opportunity not for blind optimism, but for strategic transformation. And it depends on how you see it. If you look at a downturn as something that you will never rise from, or you never come back after, then it will stay like that. But you need to put in some strategic things or some strategies in place to be able to come back. So let me give you an example. So there's a company founded in Ghana, and this health company faced some significant operational hurdles during the early days of the pandemic. I don't want to mention the name of the company. Now, pharmacies were losing stock, distribution was chaotic at the time, and public trust in supply chains was low. But rather than fold under pressure, they pivoted. They invested heavily in data, in logistics, and partnerships. And guess what? Today, they are operating in over 9 African countries. The company is in Ghana here. I don't want to mention the name. They didn't wait for things to go back to normal. They created a new normal for themselves and for healthcare in Africa. So the question is, how do you come back from a downturn? And when we get into a roundtable discussion, we're going to talk a bit more about some of these things. I'm going to be joined by somebody who has studied into the space properly and can share a lot of things with us. But let me just give you some 5 key pillars that might come up in our conversation. First of all, maybe we can talk about financial restructuring. Now, most businesses struggle with debt or liquidity after a downturn. But restructuring is not just about cutting costs. It's also about renegotiating terms, identifying some cash flow drains, and when necessary, downsizing strategically. Now, according to McKinsey, companies that quickly reassess their cost structures after a downturn have a 50% higher chance of long-term survival. Companies that quickly reassess their cost structures after a downturn have a 50% higher chance of longer-term or long-term survival. But be careful. Cost-cutting without vision is just panic. If you want to cut to grow, that is the best way to go. So don't cut to survive, but cut to grow. Another thing is, apart from financial restructuring, is innovative marketing. Now, if your marketing plan still looks like it did before the downturn or pre-downturn, then you are missing the moment. This is a time to speak more clearly, more authentically, more directly to your customers. I mean, their new reality. This is a time to do that. Remember, your audience may have changed as a result of the downturn because maybe their income, their habits, expectations have all changed. And that is why you need to be able to speak to them more clearly, more authentically, and more directly. Now, in South Africa, a fashion retail brand called Spree struggled with low sales post-COVID. What was their comeback? They doubled down on influencer marketing. They ran some community challenges on social media and rebranded for inclusivity and affordability. Within 6 months, their revenue bounced back by 30%. So it tells you that if you keep, let's say pre-COVID, you had a particular marketing strategy. Now COVID hit, you had a downturn, and you resume, then there's a way you have to change because the people that you are serving have changed their ways, some way, somehow. Maybe their income, like I mentioned, their habits, expectations have changed. And so you need to be able to meet those people at that point. So there are things that you have to do. Now we can also talk about, apart from restructuring and innovative marketing, we can also talk about employee morale. Listen, you can't revive a business with tired, anxious, and disconnected people. You can't revive a business with tired, anxious, and disconnected people. As Richard Branson says, take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. Take care of your employees and they will take care of your business. Sometimes morale doesn't need bonuses or big budgets. It just needs some honesty, clear communication, a shared vision, and you are good to go. So get your team involved in your comeback. Let them see that they are part of the story. Let them see the honesty in your communication with them. And I believe that they will come back. So think about your team right now. Are they passengers or co-pilots in your recovery journey? Think about it. Are they passengers or their co-pilots in your recovery journey. So these are some of the things. I'm sure other things will come up when we get into our roundtable discussion. Now, maybe you are asking, where do I start? I don't have capital. Or my team has scattered. I've lost motivation. Let me remind you, you don't have to rise in a day. But you do need to rise with clarity. So start with one area, maybe your finances, maybe your online presence. Talk to your customers again. Ask what they want now, not what they wanted 3 years ago. That is how you'll be able to come back from a downturn. We're going to talk more about that, like I said, when we get into our roundtable discussion. And you are free to also join the conversation. I'll announce the phone lines at the right time, and you are free to join the conversation. But this will be all for Business Brief this morning. We're talking about strategies for a comeback after a downturn. Very important one. You don't want to miss. So don't go anywhere. We'll have our roundtable discussion very soon. But up next is Transport Today with Solomon Tetenati. Please stay tuned.
This is the pre-boarding announcement for flight 3728.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us here on the Business Breakfast on Zed with me, Trebi Hammond. Well, Solomon Tetenate is seated and is ready to bring us transport today. Solo, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, E. I'm doing very well. What about you?
I'm doing very well too.
Great, thank God.
By God's special grace. Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
All right, tell us what do we have? What do you have for us today?
All right, so I'm taking you through the flight schedules as usual, and then we look at the traffic situation in town, and then lastly we look at what is trending in the aviation sector. So let me start with the flight schedules, and I'm starting with Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 8:50 a.m., and 11:20 a.m. 6:20 a.m., 8:50 a.m., and 11:20 a.m. And then the afternoon schedules are 1:50 p.m. and 4:20 p.m. 1:50 p.m. and 4:20 p.m. And then the evening schedule is 7:20 p.m. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi, and it takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. Accra to Takoradi Passion Air, the morning schedule is 6:20 a.m. and then the afternoon schedule is 4:20 p.m. The morning schedule is 6:20 a.m. and then the afternoon schedule is 4:20 p.m. Accra to Takoradi. There's no evening flight for Passion Air today, and it takes 50 minutes to get to your destination. Accra to Sunyani Passion Air has only one flight available for the day at 9:10 a.m. 9:10 a.m. Passion Air Accra to Sunyani. It takes 1 hour to get to your destination. Now, Accra to Wa Passion Air, there's no flight available for the day. Accra to Wa, there's no flight available for the day, and that's Passion Air. Accra to Tamale. Passion Air Accra to Tamale, the morning schedule is 6 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:20 p.m. and 4 p.m. 12:20 p.m. and 4 p.m. Accra to Tamale Passion Air. It takes 1 hour 20 minutes to get to your destination. So these are the flight schedules for Passion Air. Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 8:40 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. The morning schedules are 6:20 a.m., 8:40 a.m. and 9:40 a.m. And then the afternoon schedules are 2:10 p.m. and 3:10 p.m. 2:10 p.m. and 3:10 p.m. And then the evening schedule is 7 p.m. Africa World Airlines Accra to Kumasi. In all, we have 6 flights available for the day. We have 3 available in the morning, and then 2 in the afternoon, and 1 in the evening. Passion Air Accra to Kumasi. It takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. Accra to Takoradi Africa World Airlines. Accra to Takoradi Africa World Airlines. The morning schedule is 6:40 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:20 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. The morning schedule is 6:40 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:20 p.m. and 4:30 p.m. and it takes 40 minutes to get to your destination. Accra to Takoradi Africa World Airlines. Now, Accra to Tamale Africa World Airlines Accra to Tamale. The morning schedules are 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. 6:30 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. and then the afternoon schedules are 12:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Africa World Airlines Accra to Tamale. There's no evening flight for Accra to Tamale Africa World Airlines, and it takes 1 hour to get to your destination. So these are the flight schedules for today. Let's look at the traffic situation in town, and it's 7:47. Let's look at Dome Market. If you are Dome around the KFC, there's traffic around that area, around where the KFC is, heading toward the St. Ambrose Anglican Church. There's traffic on that stretch as we speak. So if you're at Dome Market, heading towards the KFC or heading towards where the Papa's Pizza Dome branch is located, there's traffic on that stretch, so you should take note of that. And that's the St. John's Dome and Kwabenya Brekusu Road. So if you're using that route, you should take note of that. Achimota Mall, there's traffic on the Accra Kumasi Highway, and that's Achimota Mall, from Achimota Mall to Achimota Old Station bus stop. There's massive traffic on that stretch. So if you are using the Kumasi Accra Road, you should take note of that. From the Achimota Mall to Achimota Old Station bus stop. And so that's the traffic situation over there as we speak. On the same in Sawam Road, around the Tesano Baptist Church, is building up slowly. The traffic is building up slowly from the Tesano Baptist Church to Ghana Communication Technology University. The traffic is building up slowly around that area on the Insawam Road. If you are coming from Kumasi, that will be the information for you. If you are coming from Kumasi heading towards Circle, that will be the information for you. So that's the traffic situation over there. Ring Road is busy at the moment. Ring Road is busy at the moment, right from the EcoBank Ring Road branch to Circle overhead. Is very busy at the moment. So if you are using the Ring Road, you should take note of that. So that's the traffic situation over there. Hilaliman Highway is also busy around the Alisa Hotel. Hilaliman Highway, right from the City Center Guest House, is very busy on the Hilaliman Highway. So you should take note of that. That's the traffic situation over there as we speak. Independence Avenue is also busy from the Accra Ghana Temple past MTN Ghana is busy at the moment. So if you are using the Independence Avenue, you should take note of that. From Accra Ghana Temple past Zenith Bank head office, past Car Bank MTN Ghana to Ridge Roundabout is very busy at the moment, and so you should take note of that. So that's the traffic situation in town today. Let's look at what is trending in the aviation sector. So, Rolls-Royce, right? Rolls-Royce unveils Trent XWB-84 EP engines for Airbus A350-900. So Rolls-Royce has unveiled the Trent XWB-84 EP engines for Airbus A350-900 just recently, and Rolls-Royce latest suite of cutting-edge enhancements strengthens the Trent XWB's industry-leading reliability while delivering even greater fuel efficiency and lower environmental impact. So the Trent XWB-84 EP enables at least a 1% reduction in fuel consumption and contributing to average annual fleet fuel saving of $5 million. So this translates to lower emissions and then reduced decibels, all without compromising durability. And so this is coming from Rolls-Royce. They have unveiled their XWB-84 EP engines to Airbus A350-900. And also, man breaches security at London Heathrow, and then runs on tarmac. So a man breached security and accessed the airfield taxiway at London Heathrow Airport. He was chased down by other men and was later caught and arrested. And I don't know, I want to bring you in to this conversation. I don't know what at all is it, like fame that they want, or maybe there's something actually wrong with them, because this has been happening recently. You hear that this has breached a security guidelines and all that, and I don't know what actually is going on over there. What could be the case?
Well, I personally think it's fame. A lot of people, but I mean there could be other factors, but a major one of them is fame. I've read stories, I mean, where people just wanted to be in the news. You wanted to just appear in the news.
This is risky.
Exactly, yeah. But at the end of the day, the punishment isn't very severe.
That's I think that's why most of them don't really consider anything, and then they start doing those things. Because other than that, there's no confirmation of what his intentions were or how he got to the tarmac.
Yeah, I think for even in football, people just jump and they're on the pitch and all of that. Yeah. So but FIFA, I don't know whether it's FIFA, but I think the football bodies have put in place some fines for the countries. If it happens in your country, you pay.
So the country is going to pay, not the person.
Yeah, I think so.
But that will still encourage the people to do.
But because nobody will know who exactly the person is supporting, so you can't find the teams. I don't have the facts on that, but I know that the country pays. I think when we played at one of our matches recently in Ghana here, somebody came to the pitch, and I hear we had to pay. So GFA also will have to pay something. I don't know the facts.
And what did they do to the person
usually they'll punish them some way. Yeah. People are saying they're going to lash the guy for coming.
I don't think so. All right, but so that's all for transport today, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming. We're grateful. Well, that was Solomon Tetenate, my colleague here, bringing us transport today. Up next is market trends, but we'll take a quick music break. When we return, Emmanuel Boateng will join me for that conversation. Stay tuned.
We're gonna rock too. We're gonna rock together. We're gonna jump too. We're gonna jump forever.
Lifestyle, nurture, and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Music brought in Africa. Come listen.
move your feet to the rhythm. Swing your arms, move your feet to the rhythm. Cause this rhythm is so hard to resist. Cause the rhythm is so hard to resist. After dancing to the rest, you got to jump the best. After dancing to the rest, you got to jump the best. We're gonna rock, rock too. We're gonna rock together. We're gonna jump, jump too. We're gonna jump forever. We're gonna rock, rock too. We're gonna rock together. We're gonna jump, jump too. We're gonna jump forever. Gone are those days when we fight each other. Gone are those days when we kill one another. We got to leave us one solid unity. No backbiting in our community. Let's stand at the table. I know we are able. Forcing and fighting must be a problem of the past. I say we need it no more. We call it alone joy. Alone joy. Nobody likes it so well. Alone joy. Everybody wants to have some good life. Alone joy. Nobody likes it so well. Alone joy. Everybody wants to be free. Let child abuse be a problem of the past. Let drug abuse be a low joy. We find a solution to this pollution. Children suffering from malnutrition. Let's stand at the table. I know we are able. We've been away. Must be a problem of the past. I say we need it no more. We call it alone joy. Alone joy. Nobody likes it so well. Alone joy. Say, everybody wants to have some good life. Alone joy. Hey, nobody likes it so. Alone joy. Everybody wants to be free.
All right. Ozim by the Marriott International Band, bringing us exactly 8 o'clock. This is a business breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM with me, Nietzsche B. Hammond. Thank you very much for sticking and staying with us till this point. Well, do you know that you can own your own house in just 2 years with no interest repayment? Yes, that is possible, but only with Lakeside Estate. Because Lakeside Estate has got an exclusive offer for you, and this offer gives you affordable payments, flexible home purchase plan, quality homes, your lifestyle choice, and you also get to choose from a variety of beautiful homes in any of the Lakeside Hills clusters. So of course, your future awaits. Imagine living in a home you love, with the freedom to invest in your dreams without a burden of interest. Yeah, just imagine. Well, as a CIMG Real Estate Company of the Year, for the 4th time, we offer you hassle-free home acquisition. All you have to do is to call us today, and you can own your own house in just 2 years with no interest repayment. Yes, by 2027, you can own your own house if you call us today. The number to call is 020-477-5042, 020-477-5042, or 020-477-5040, 020-477-5040, or 050-1418-622. or 050-1418-622. So don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Call us now to learn more and schedule a tour of our available homes. Lakeside Estate, quality home for all.
This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM.
All right, exactly 4 after 8. This is the Business Breakfast on Zed. Well, very soon we get into our market trends segment very soon. And Emmanuel Boateng, our economic analyst, will join me soon for that important conversation. And today we're going to talk about the Ghana Stock Exchange. We're talking about the market. And that's a very important conversation you don't want to miss. You know, yesterday we talked about the T-bill market. We also mentioned the gold coin. And today we want to do something about the stocks. So please don't go anywhere. We take a quick music. We take a quick music break. Of course, we're already having a break. But we'll continue for a few minutes, and then Emmanuel Boateng will join me for this all-important conversation. Please don't go anywhere. Stick and stay, but enjoy this one.
This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM.
Sunshiny day. Everybody do what you're doing. Smile will bring a sunshine day.
what you're doing. Smile will bring us sunshine day.
This is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM.
Dancing
This is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM.
Welcome back to the Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Nitra B. Hammond. Well, it's time for us to get into a market trends segment. And so after months of strong performance, the Ghana Stock Exchange is showing some signs of cooling down. And the financial index has slipped by 2.37%. And that is raising eyebrows across the investment landscape. And it is, I mean, the questions are that, is this just a healthy market correction, or maybe are there some deeper concerns brewing in our financial sector? And on today's market trends, we speak with our in-house economic analyst, Emmanuel Boateng, to break down what this particular dip means for investors, for banks, and the future of the stock market. Ima, good morning. Welcome. Hello, Ima. Good morning. Okay.
Good morning, Nitra. Thank you very much.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I hope you are doing well too.
Yeah, by God's special grace, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much for.
I thank God for your life.
I thank God for yours too. All right. So there's been some downward, a drop actually in the Ghana stock exchange composite index, and I want us to look at that and understand what exactly is behind that. So maybe my very first question to you is what exactly is behind the recent decline in the GSE composite index, especially the 2.37% drop in the financial index?
Thank you very much. I think I lacked the context you provided earlier. In fact, the Ghana Stock Exchange Financial Index has been the major driver of the performance of the entire composite index. When you look at the entire stock market together in Ghana, the index that pulls its performance, that drives its performance, is the financial index. And it's made up of financial companies, banks, insurance companies, etc., etc. They are the ones that make up that index. Now, the performance of the financial index, you are right. It saw a dip. It saw a dip, about 2.3% dip, and it can be attributed to several factors. First of all, I want us to understand the history of our financial sector. We've come a long way. We've seen cleanups, we've seen recapitalization, we've seen assets aware, domestic debt exchange program. We've seen how policies of government led to negative equity, led to losses, led to impairment on the books of financial companies, particularly the banks. They have gone through a lot in recent times, and if I say recent times, possibly in the last 6 or 7 years, or if you like, the last decade. It has not been easy for banks in Ghana, and about 8 or so of them are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange, and their performance on that exchange is typically underpinned by how they are also performing the actual performance as a bank. And so what we see is a mix of factors. The banks and insurance companies, one, for asset prices, and in this case, the stock prices of these banks, to be doing well, it must be backed by investor confidence. Investor confidence is key. Now, if investors have concerns over the bank's earnings, if they have concerns over impairment from non-performing loans, for instance, and they still have concerns about the domestic debt exchange program, which we know impacted the portfolios of banks, then that could, as it were, weaken the confidence that investors have in these banks and contribute to how well the stocks of these banks perform on the stock market. And so that is the very first or major reason why we are seeing that dip or that drop in performance.
Okay.
Now, we know that typically the Ghanaian economy is on a recovery path. And as it were, the performance of the economy of Ghana impacts the performance of, say, the stock market and other markets. And also the performance of these markets also plays a role in the performance of the economy. So there's a bicausal effect between or relationship between the performance of the Ghanaian economy and the performance of the stock market.
Right.
That when the Ghanaian economy is doing well, we are going to see it impacting how the markets also perform. And when these markets are also performing well, then inadvertently it leaves us with 0 degrees of freedom to ever think that the Ghanaian economy would not perform well. It will certainly land us there. So that is about that. Now, when an economy is recovering, one of the things that comes with it is correction. The market needs to be corrected. Forces of demand and supply set prices in the market, among other things. So even if you manipulate how a market performs, there is such a mechanism that will bring the market to the place where it will correct itself. And so there is a general market correction ongoing after what we saw in the first quarter of this year, a strong performance by the Ghana Stock Exchange. We saw the Ghana Stock Exchange post over 30% year-to-date growth, and investors who made gains during that period are now profit-taking. And that will put a downward pressure on the prices. If somebody had made gains and decides to sell off their shares, somebody had made gains and the rest of them, then you are going to see that there will be a negative effect on stock prices. And typically for this market, once stock prices are going down, the performance of the market is also going down. Because when stock prices are going down, and even given the same level of trade, the real effect is that in terms of value, it will be smaller compared to the previous. And so that is a major factor accounting for the drop that we are seeing.
Right.
And it is, as I'll call it, is a cycle of the market. I mean, you will not have a market performing bullish throughout the year. That will be some great news and maybe a miracle. Right. Yeah, because even in our normal life, we have good times and we have bad times.
Right.
We have times where things are just normal. You just don't even know what is going on. If somebody asks you, what's up with you? You really don't know what to say. And so that is also true of markets.
Okay.
Markets have periods where prices or the performance is relatively bullish. Bullish things are going on, prices are high, and investors are cashing out, etc., etc. Then you have the other extreme event, which is bearish. Bearish is typified or characterized by low prices. That is when the market is not doing well. You know, the horn of the bull, points upward.
Yeah.
And that of the bear comes downwards. And that is, I don't know why the finance people chose to use those two phrases to show when the market is doing well, as in the bull's horn, and when the market is not doing well, as in the bear's horn. And so that is basically it. And so for all we know, that is part of the cycle the market must go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the cycle that the market must undergo. Because whatever you do, even if you own a vision shop, it is not every day of the week that you have people coming to buy a lot from you.
Of course.
It is not every month that will be as sweet as other months. So it is also part of the dynamics of financial markets, and in this case, the stock market. So that could be what is really happening, what we are really experiencing. So, in terms of the dip, it could be that the market is correcting. It could be that investor confidence is being crushed. It could be that due to the recovery that the entire economy is going through, the market is behaving in a certain shape, which is acceptable.
But so is do you think is that, I mean, well, is there a cause for concern, or is this a normal market correction?
2% drop is not very alarming. In fact, it's almost infinitesimal. It may not impact economic decision making.
Right.
In my view. Yeah, and I mean, if you experience a drop of, we are comparing this to like a 30% uptick in the first quarter.
Right.
30% and 2% is I don't want to say it's nothing, but I mean, how would it impact economic agents? I mean, so it's not so much of a cost for which we must be concerned. After you see, typically in markets, when you see a very strong performance, it is followed by a certain level of drop. But even this one is very small. Yeah, because, I mean, even the waves of the sea, when they come up very high, you see them flattening out at a point. So typically it's a behavior of the market. I don't think that it's a concern. But, however, I think that what is critical, crucial, is about how long and how deep in terms of the duration and the depth of the decline. If this decline is going to continue for a long while, then we have a case to say there is something that must be paid attention to. But if it is just a normal dip and then things go back to normal, then, I mean, we are as good. So if the drop continues, so next week we see another drop, the following week another drop, then if it is continuing that way consistently, then there is a problem.
Right.
Yeah, it could signal a number of things beyond the performance of these companies on the face of their financial statement. Yeah, it could be that assets where investors are just taking out their monies, foreign investors are just taking their monies and sending them to their countries of origin. It could also be that investors do not really have a positive outlook about the market. I mean, they are being a bit more pessimistic than optimistic. And all of those could be reasons why. But take it from me, I don't think we are going to see the market dip in the next month. No. The Ghana Stock Exchange, as I know it for some time now. In fact, last year was the best stock market in West Africa. As I've known it for some time now. It's not a market that dips and dips and dips. The market that performs well. But of course, occasionally, we'll see one or two of the dips.
I mean, in the financial index, right?
Yes, exactly.
But what does the slowdown in trading volume suggest about investor sentiment, really?
Well, when the volume, so you are looking at number of shares that have been traded.
Yeah.
Not necessarily how much that is worth. Now, when the volume is, it's trending downwards, then it could be that we are not seeing a lot of investors participate in the market. And possibly their confidence or sentiment about the market is waning down. It could also be that their interest really is not there. It could also be accounted for by some level of uncertainty. Wait and see approach. Let's see, is this market, let's see the direction of the market. Let's see where the ship will sail to, and let's take a decision. It could be that. This is just a week. It's just a week. There are 52 weeks in a year. 1 out of 52 is very small. It's very, very small. In fact, it's less than 5%. So it's quite small. Yeah. I mean, so like I'm saying, it is just a wait and see approach.
Right.
Many are watching other things to be able to decide what to do. What are these other things? Inflation trend, exchange rate movement, and others. And we know that in Ghana, some of these things play a key role in the decision making of investors. So it is also a reflection of the level of liquidity, because like I always say, if you don't have money on you, how are you going to invest? You don't have money, and then you go to say Accra Mall that they are going to buy. How is that possible? It's not. So if the level of liquidity in the system is very low, then traditionally investors will not have excess funds to invest in the stock market. That could also be a major reason why we see what we are seeing.
I see. But how significant is the financial sector to the overall Ghana Stock Exchange? And how does a decline here impact the broader market?
Thank you. Before, I think just on the onset of our discussion, I intimated that the financial sector is the highest weighted sector on the Ghana Stock Exchange, to the extent that its performance drives the overall performance of the market, and the reverse is also true. And so it is the most weighted, heavily weighted, and actively traded sectors on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And we know banks like Ghana Commercial Bank, GCB Bank, EcoBank Ghana, Access Bank, we know them. Societe Generale, Agricultural Development Bank, Stanchart, etc. There are 8 of them. Their performance influences the composite index due to their high market capitalization and volume. So when the financial indices decline, it tends to drag down the broader market, and in this case, the Ghana Stock Exchange, especially when other sectors like consumer goods, telecommunication, and manufacturing aren't posting offsetting gains. And investor confidence in the financial sector also tends to spill over to other sectors. In other words, if banks are struggling, it can raise broader concerns about credit conditions, economic growth, and financial system stability. Oh, wow, I just got a research idea. Maybe I'll pursue it later on. Yeah, but that is it, because financial sector, more or less, is the engine of economic growth. Financial development impacts economic growth. And so if the financial sector is not doing well, you see the research idea I was talking about, how does it impact the other sectors on the Ghana stock market? It's something that I'll test it. Yeah.
All right, great. Only on market trend segments.
Do we get research ideas?
Right, but could this market dip affect foreign investor participation or maybe long-term institutional confidence?
Let me answer it this way. If it's continuous, yes. If it is one-off, I'm sorry, no. I shouldn't even be sorry, no. The reason is simple. We know that foreign investors often look for consistency, they look for depth, and they look for predictability.
Right.
Very, very key. Very, very key. So a dip in the market itself is not necessarily a deterrent. I don't think that is a problem, because we know that up and downs are part of life.
Okay.
Price movements in up and down directions are part of markets. It is part of the market. Look at how your heart beats. It's up and down. So that is part of market performance.
Okay.
Volatility is part of investing. Every investor knows that. Prices will not stay the same. In fact, prices cannot stay the same. So once there is buy and sell, prices will not stay the same. So that is part of it. Now, if the dip we are seeing, say it is coming along with issues of concern in the broader economy, low liquidity, high inflation, etc., then investors will be worried, because not only are they going to look at the Ghana Stock Exchange, specifically financial index, no, they are going to look at the performance of the overall economy, and then in strategic management, the performance of there is such a framework. I think it's called the PESTA also, and it looks at how the broader economy performs in line with the performance of the specific sector and the firm in question. Okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't have done a strategic analysis. You wouldn't have done it so well. And so investors will look at all that. That is why I say that a one-off dip, no, a consistency that accompanied by concerns in the market, then would give investors, a cause to worry.
Okay. All right, but tell me, but could this particular dip also offer a buying opportunity in the financial sector, or maybe as caution, or maybe tell me, is caution still warranted?
My brother, I think that some of these questions, the way they are, the dip is just about 2%. I agree. Every investor prefers to buy stocks and the rest at a lower price, so that when the prices shoot up, the difference becomes their capital gain.
Right.
But is this sufficient to drive, as it were, investment in the financial sector? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
But even investment, typically, as we know it, is a function of many things. Your tolerance for risk, and that is why we have different kinds of risk takers. We have risk lovers, those who love risk, therefore take on a lot of risk. Then we have the risk neutrals. They are just indifferent. And then we have the risk averse. They are those who go under the shower, turn on the shower, and use their feet to test the temperature of the water before they allow it to touch the remaining parts of their body. So we have, there are those who go to the sea and they will tell you they have swam, but all they did was to walk along the shore and wait for whatever to come for them to just have a feel of it. These are broad levels of risk appetite. Of course, we have risk averse chicken and the rest of them. But someone who loves to take on risk typically would invest in a risky venture. Somebody who is risk averse, on risk, the person who wants to invest in, say, the treasury bill market.
Okay.
Because the stock market is not a low-risk environment. It's a high-risk profile environment. And so for you to go in there, then your risk appetite, you need to have watched that. Then another thing has to do with the time, in terms of how long it takes for the investment to mature. Very, very important. So for long-term investors, a dip in fundamentally sound financial stocks with strong capital buffers and recovery prospects could present a good entry point.
Okay.
For instance, you have investments in a stock. You know a stock market is not a short-term thing. It's not it's not treasury bill market. No, it's long-term. So a small dip along the way would not unsettle you. Rather, it provides you with some level of insight to say, oh, prices are coming down. We know these companies have good capital. Okay. They are not companies who collapse, for which reason my investments in them would go back.
Right.
Then let me rather invest because I know they will bounce back. It's one investment and how they are going to look at it. And that is part of the game. But like you say, caution is always good. Because in investing, no matter the level of risk, you need to exercise caution. Otherwise, you may lose everything.
Right. Okay. So investors should consider the bank's exposure, I guess.
Yes, they should.
What other things would you say they should consider?
Well, not just the exposure. They should also look forward to what is going to happen in the coming week, maybe this week.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. It could be just a one-off thing. Once the market rebounds, what's your cause for worry? And in fact, sometimes the rebound is higher than the dip. In fact, in most cases, because it's a rebound, and so it will typically be better than the dip. Right. And that's why some are projecting that then this is a good time to go and invest. Because if I invest now and there is a rebound, which is certainly going to happen, given the performance of these banks and insurance companies, we have some capital gain
Okay.
to make.
Right, but what does this mean? I'll let you go very soon. But what does this downturn mean specifically for retail investors, especially those who came in during the recent bull run? What does this mean for them?
Short-term losses, of course. In the short term, they are making some losses, and they would have worries about whether or not they enter the market at the right time. But what is key? Don't be afraid. I mean, if I am with you, don't be troubled at all, because that is the behavior of the market. Market fluctuation is part of the performance of market. Markets fluctuate and they correct.
Okay.
So what matters is for you to align your investment goals with your time horizon and your risk tolerance. So broadly, I spoke about the tenor, the duration for which the investment matures, in addition to your appetite for risk. That is fundamental. And your broader goal for investing must align with that. You need to check your risk tolerance level. And can I take on risk? Yes, no. Do I have the patience to set this money aside in, say, this financial asset for the time it's worth?
Okay.
Yes, no. Then you go in or you do not go in for it. So there is no need to panic.
Okay.
So if you have short-term needs, I don't think you should come to the stock market. It's not a place for short-term needs. Right. It's a place for long-term gain. If you have long-term ambitions, then this is the time for you to invest in that. Okay. Although for me, I even think that the dip is not that significant. So, but anyhow, it's a time to come in there.
Okay.
And get yourself abreast with a lot of things about the stock market. I mean, what we are saying is necessary, but it's not sufficient to put you into the stock market, because you need to know a lot about the Ghana stock market. You need to know a lot about the financial index. You need to, as a matter of fact, conduct some technical analysis, among others, before you invest in a particular stock. Otherwise, without proper planning, when you get in there, the anxiety is even going to grow more and more.
Okay. Just before we go, what upcoming events or maybe data releases should investors watch for signs of a market rebound or maybe a deeper decline? What are some of the indicators you could mention?
Well, the banks, for instance, they release quarterly reports. So if you're an investor and you saw the banks that are not doing well per se, you may want to have a look at their second quarter reports. We are in June, so end of month thereof. Next month early, you have that. Inflation, it must come down as we have projected. How do you call that? Monetary policy rate. What the central bank will decide to do. Interest rate adjustment. You need to look at that. And the performance of the forex, of our currency in relation to other major trading currencies. That is very, very important. And any other information that typically would affect the economy of Ghana, or that would drive the performance of the Ghanaian economy, in addition to impacting the performance of the Ghana Stock Exchange, will be key for you to be able to make an informed decision and the rest of them. Yeah.
Right.
And I know Casapreco wants to list on the market. No, is it Casapreco?
Yeah, I think Casapreco.
There is, yeah. These are all
in the news some time ago.
Yeah, these are all sentiments that drive market performance. When new companies are coming on board and the rest, look out for such news and see where to keep or put your money.
Right. Ima, thank you very much for your time. We're grateful that you made time to speak to us.
You're welcome. I'm excited.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Grateful. Well, that was Emmanuel Boateng, our in-house economic analyst, helping us understand and prepare for the coming weeks on the stock market. And I mean, there you have it as an investor. He said a lot of things, and I hope that if you invest in that space, then you should be interested in all of the things we're speaking about. I think I have Ima. Ima? Hello? All right. Okay, so if you're interested in that, in the space, in the Ghana Stock Exchange, you want to invest in there, or you're listening to us as an investor, and the information we just shared is something very, very important. It says that 2.3 decline in the financial index is not so huge, and so it is not quite alarming. Yeah, it is within the range of a healthy market correction, and so you need to know that. But he expects that in the coming months or in the coming weeks, really, we're going to see an appreciation in there as well. So that is to just keep you informed. If you missed the interview, we just spoke about the Ghana Stock Exchange, and he was trying to help us some of the things you need to do if you want to go into that particular space. So the recording will be on YouTube at Z Multimedia, and also on Facebook at ZFMGH. You could visit and go and have a look at them all over again, and that should inform you in the coming weeks in terms of your investment in the Ghana Stock Exchange. Very, very important conversation. Well, it's exactly 44 after 8, so we're going to get into our roundtable discussion very, very soon, and I'll be joined by somebody who has been in the space, who understands some of the things that we're going to talk about. And today we're talking about strategies for a comeback after a downturn. So if your business goes down on its knees, how do we come back? How do we bounce back? That is exactly what we'll be talking about. A very important conversation I believe you don't want to miss. But we'll take a quick break. When we return, my guest will join me for the roundtable discussion. Stay tuned.
This is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM.
Places and faces and things you ain't never thought about thinking. If you ain't peeped, then you must be drinking and smoking, pretending that you're loking, but you're broken. Let me get you open. Now little Timmy got his diploma and little Jimmy got life, and Tamika around the corner just took her first hit off the pipe. The other homie shot the other homie and ran off with his money, and when the other homies heard about it, they thought that it was funny. But who's the dummy? Cause now you done lost a hustler. A down-ass brother done been replaced by a buster. And though I got love for you, I know I can't trust you. Cause my crew is rolling Hummers and your crew is rolling Dusters. And just because of that, you act like you don't like a brother no more. I guess that's just the way you go. I ain't trying to preach. I believe I can reach, but your mind ain't prepared. I see you when you get there.
I see you when you get there. If you ever get there. See you when you get there. I see you when you get there. If you ever get there. See you when you get there.
More temptation and faith, I guess we living for the day. I seen a man get swept off his feet by a boy with a situation so twisted, everybody getting lifted. I'm just trying to take care of my kids and handle my business. Cause it's way too serious, so you gotta pay close attention, so you don't get caught slipping when they come to do all the getting. Life is a big game, so you gotta play it with a big heart. Some of us gotta run a little faster, cause we gotta lay the start. But I'll be a fool to surrender when I know I can be a contender. If everybody's a sinner, then everybody can be a winner. No matter your rag color, deep down we all brothers. And regardless of the time, somebody up there still love us. I'm a scuffle and struggle until I'm breathless and weak. I done strive my whole life to make it to the mountain peak. Always keep reaching, sure to grab on to something. I'll be there when you get there, waiting with the sounds bumping.
I'll see you when you get there. If you ever get there. See you when you get there. I'll see you when you get there. If you ever get there. See you when you get there.
Loosen up and live a little. And if you got kids, let them know how you're feeling. For your own sake, give a little. Oh, you don't want to hear that. You're busy trying to stack and keep it with the Joneses, taking advantage of your own. The realest homies that you've been knowing for the longest. But some ain't missing a good thing until it's gone. Could have built an empire, not for the jealousy that divides us. We prefer to keep our eyes shut to what's right when it's something involved that we desire. So hold your head up high if you're poor and righteous. I know time seems strife and problems seem
This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. This is Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM. This is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM.
All right, welcome back to the Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM with me, Nee Trebi Hammond. Time for us to get into our roundtable discussion. And this morning, we're talking about strategies for recovering and reviving businesses after a downturn. So, if your business goes down, I mean, if you face some downturn, how can you come back? Because a lot of people are unable to return to business after a downturn. And when I spoke to you, or when I delivered my business brief this morning, I told you an important statistic, which says that according to the World Bank, more than half of small and medium-sized enterprises globally do not survive a severe economic shock. And remember the COVID-19 pandemic, it hit a lot of African businesses, and they went on their knees and they couldn't stand up anymore. And so that's why it's a very important conversation for us to have this morning. If you're listening to us, you're a business person, you're somebody who is running a startup or whatever, sometimes downturns come, but how you are able to navigate them determines how well you are able to position yourself and what your business does in the future. So we don't want your business to go down and not rise again. And so we're having this important conversation. So pick a lesson or two. And that is why we're talking about strategies, because the difference between the companies or the businesses that are able to come back after a downturn and the ones that are unable to is simply the strategy behind them. And we have a very important conversation this morning. I've been joined by Eric Kwejo Gota. He is a lecturer. He's a PhD candidate at the University of South Africa. He's also an entrepreneur, and he's going to help us break all of these things down, telling us the strategies that will help you when your business experiences a downturn. And so very, very important conversation. Eric, welcome to the Business Breakfast on Zed.
Thank you very much, me.
Good to see you again. Good to have you. Right. I hope all is well.
Good morning to all your listeners.
Good morning. I hope all is well with you.
Very well, very good here.
Great stuff. We're having a very important conversation today, and I don't want us to jump the gun. Maybe we can start from the basics. When we talk about downturn, is it just that people hear downturn and they think that the downturn is just about maybe a pandemic happening or anything? Is it just limited to pandemics?
Yeah, so downturn is not just limited to pandemic. You know, every business they go through growth stages. So at one stage or the other, and its own challenges that they come with.
Right.
And for instance, especially in Ghana and across Africa, many of these businesses face a serious setback, especially from economic downturns to inflation. And then global stocks. The global shocks are also there to give us
challenges, and then we also have some local disruptions. So it's not only pandemic. Inflation can also affect global shocks, like what happened some few years ago. We saw how our dollar and our cedi was seriously affected against major currencies across the globe. Can also affect our local businesses. And then some few things within the local, if we have a bad governance, can also affect your business. And then also government policies. So there are a lot of things that can affect businesses, not merely a pandemic. Not only pandemic can affect businesses. Yeah.
Now, you talk about local and global. Maybe you can just break them down. What are some of the examples?
For instance, with the global, we can talk about the cedi depreciation against the dollar. That one, for instance, if an item is supposed to call less price, but because of the exchange rate, when you import goods to the country, the prices must go high. So, and most of our institutions or most of the companies that we have here, most of them depend on the foreign exchange to import raw materials to the country. So if we don't have that financial muscle to import, and then also maybe the capital that you used to start, is not that huge enough to face the exchange rate, your business can be easily affected. And then when we talk about the local disruption, we're talking about our local governance. If a government at the time, their policies does not favor, or maybe doesn't favor local businesses, like high taxes, can also affect business. One business is paying permits, is paying ground rent, is paying workers, and then the income taxes that they are paying for workers. So all these things can also come together to affect businesses of today. And don't forget that aside the national also having some taxes on the people, the local assemblies also have various taxes that they have on people. For instance, they have various department agencies that also go to these workplaces to collect taxes from them. And these huge taxes can also affect their capital and then affect their profits as well. Thank you.
Right. Very, very important stuff. Now, many people also hear business downturn and they think that it's the end. First of all, okay, maybe just before I come there, what kinds of businesses actually face downturn?
Pardon?
What kinds of businesses face downturn? Is it any business or there are some specific businesses?
Every business faces, even the coffee Brookman seller also faces a downturn. People might not turn up to buy. Number two, to even get the raw material, that is the plantain, to even run your business is also a challenge. When we talk about the pure water seller, once there is increase in taxes, it affects the pure water production companies, and that can also affect those who are selling on the street. If people are not buying, that can also affect you. So the ones selling water by the roadside, when bag of rice increase from 100 cedis to 200 cedis or 500 cedis, and then you increase the size of your food to customers are reducing, people might not turn up to buy. Then you can cook, and then the food will remain in your with you, and people will not come and buy it. So almost all businesses face downturn. Yes.
All right. So nobody is really exempted.
No, nobody's really exempted from this.
I see. So tell me, what is there such a thing as self-inflicted downturn?
Yes. So that is a good question. All boils down to how you start a company or the institution or your business. Before you start a business, you must first of all sit down and have your plan. You must do intensive research. You don't just stand up because somebody is selling pure water and the person is making it, so therefore that is also your field. You don't also just stand up because somebody is also operating a chop bar and the person is making it, so that is your field. So you must first of all know the kind of things that you want to do, what interests you, the business that you want to do. and you must know the pros and cons of the business that you want to do. You don't just stand up and pick a business. You must know the things that goes into the business. If, for instance, you want to go into coffee brookman selling, you must know the location where you start, and then also the various items or ingredients you are going to use. All these things you have to know. You just don't stand up and then say that you are going to start a business. So you can, for another one is the workers that you have. If you don't recruit the right workers, that one can also affect you. These are some of the things that you can bring to affect your own business. The workers. For instance, bringing a family member into your business, it can cost you. Also, bringing a church member. I'm not saying that bringing a family member or church members are not good, but some of these decisions, you have to look at them very well before you bring them in. Because sometimes when you do certain things, you find it difficult to sanction them, and then you are thinking about what the family will say. You are thinking about what the church will say. So sometimes some of these things can be self-inflicted on your business. So before you go into business, you must know the things that can make the business to grow. You don't just stand up and then go into business.
And that's a mistake a lot of people make.
Yes. So some people just stand up and say, oh, I'm just going to do business. They go and rent containers somewhere, go and rent apartments somewhere. Then they think that they start business, go and recruit people to come and work for them. Now, I know a man, he recruited some church members into his hotel, and the kind of thing they did to him, he cannot come out to tell anybody. The only thing to do, even to sack them was a problem to him. But that also can also affect your business so severely. You know, when your business go down, nobody will come and then cry with you. No, that one is left between you and your God. So to avoid some of these things, you must first of all know the right people to employ. Number two, the location you must also look at. They are all very important. And you must also listen to those who started certain businesses, they flourished. And then not those who are envious about the work you are going to do. That is one of the things that you must also look at. You know, in this our settings, you go and ask somebody that, oh, I want to start this business. The person maybe might also be having, the person is running different business, but the person might be having interest in the business that you want to do, or maybe the same business and you want to find out from the same person running that same business. The person that you want you to run, the person might give you a bad advice. So you must also look for the right people that you also talk to. The right people that you talk to also know what you are supposed to do. I think that these are some of the few things that you can do. If you are not able to do some of these things, you can bring a huge inflicted challenges upon your business.
I see. Yes. So are there some examples of downturns you may want to mention, simply to help our listeners to understand what we're talking about? Are there some popular ones, or maybe some that you know that you would want to mention?
Businesses that have gone bad.
Yeah, businesses that have experienced some downturns.
Some businesses that have experienced some downturns. Now, we used to have some biscuits in the country, for instance, like Pali biscuit.
Which one?
There was a Pali's. Is it Pali's biscuit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think Pali or something. Yeah.
Yes, Pali's biscuit. Is that biscuit still in the system? So we have to know how it started, the issues that happened. The issues that happened. Crocodile matches.
What's that?
Crocodile matches. The cutlass.
Crocodile market.
Machete.
Machete.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we still have them in the system? These were individual businesses that were booming. But it got to a time, some of these businesses just went off, and we cannot even trace them again. We have some Chinese institutions during the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of them could not survive our system. We have some of them due to the high cost of import exchange rate. We have some of them due to the high income tax, government taxes. some of them will have to exit this country. A lot of businesses exited this country because of this exchange rate and then high income taxes on them. So yes, businesses are there that have lost the capital and they have to shut down. So it is not only an individual affair. So if you start a business and yours is going down, the only thing to do is to pick up. Yes.
Right. So essentially, there are a lot of businesses that we can find around. But of course, I don't think that all of the, I don't know if all of the businesses you mentioned actually experience some downturn. You know, there are some businesses that would just want to move out of the country. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So of course, anyway. So what are some of the things you can mention? I mean, sometimes people think that when we talk about downturn, it is the end of the business. Is it possible to rise or to come back into business after a downturn?
When we talk about downturn, that is not the end of a business. So you have to sit down to first of all look at some few things. Let me give them an example. Nokia went down and then bounced back. Gihog Distillery went down and bounced back. And then BlackBerry, you know BlackBerry of all mobile phones.
Yeah.
Yes, or they also went down and bounced back. And then some airlines also went down and then bounced back. All depend on how strategic they were. Even Shoprite exited Ghana and then they came back. So all depend on the kind of some of the things that you put in place. So we are going to look at some few things that you can put in place when you get a downturn. Some of the few things that you can do to get back. The first thing that you have to do is to do what you call recovery. You have to get a recovery strategy and then models.
You mean every business must have a recovery strategy?
Yes, every business. Once you are setting up a business, you must have what you call a recovery strategy.
What goes into that?
Yes. So with the recovery strategy, one, you have to look at what went wrong with your business. You have to assess what went wrong. So that is where you have to sit down and reflect what you have done right and what you have done wrong. For one, some people, when they start business, from the day go, they start paying themselves huge sum of salary, while their workers, they pay them little. Now, you must have a salary structure. This is what you are going to pay your workers, and this is what you are going to pay yourself. Any other things that come on it, that is going to be the profit, and then you save for the organization. So you must sit down and find out, did you do this or not? Number two, location that
I'm quite confused. Maybe you can help me, Eric. So a recovery plan. Maybe if you can define that first, then we can try and break it down, because I'm trying to understand what you are saying. Yes. What exactly is a recovery plan?
When you are setting up a business, you must have a focused mind that, look, this and this can happen in the future.
Okay.
Now, when you hit the rock, you must go back to the plan and look at, assess your institution, assess yourself, and see what went wrong, what went right for you. You don't just stand up and then set up a business without having a recovery plan. Now, when you have a business plan, you work within the plan. That is what you want to do. That is one. You must have a salary structure. Some people, they set up business without having a salary structure. So anybody comes to their business, they pay them anything at all, and then they also pay themselves a huge sum of salary. So when the business goes down, sometimes some people are not aware of it because profits are coming. They are not aware of it. So when you have a downturn, you must go back and then sit down and have what you call a recovery strategy. Sit down and reflect. What happened to this business? One, you do what you call assessment of the business. What went wrong and what went right. What did you do rightly? What you did wrongly? You have to look at all these things. For instance, that is what I said, that the recovery plan will tell you to assess that you have to assess what you have done right and what you have done wrong. So you look at some of the few things that you have done. Is your packaging okay? Is your location okay? The capital investment, is it okay? So look at all these ones. Then when you want to get back, then now you have to know how to put things in place. Is that right?
I see. So these are things that you have right from the beginning.
So these are some of the things that you have right from the beginning. You have to put a recovery plan on paper.
Okay. But
Because
how do you preempt some of the challenges that will come to your business?
that is why you have to focus. That is why you have to seek for advice before you start a business. Some people will tell you that, look, this and this and this are the things that have affected my business. So when you are also entering into this same business, you must put this and this strategy in place. So in case of any disaster ahead of you, you know how to get back on your feet. Yes.
Okay. And by doing so, you have what you call the recovery plan, right?
So you must have a recovery strategy. You must have a recovery strategy that when your business goes down, what are some of the things you have to do to bounce back? All these things you have to put them in place. So one, yes, maybe where you have gotten your money from, maybe they will not be ready to give you money again. So if you don't have any money, your company is down. How do you get money to feed into the company again? All some of these things you must have them on paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that when you experience those challenges, it doesn't come as a shock.
No, it doesn't come as a shock to you. It doesn't come as a shock to you because once you get into any business at all, you must have the mindset. You must have the. For instance, I have started a yogurt company. Okay. I went around to find out from some guys who are into the business, the challenges there. So, one, the boys you get that will be selling for you. They can take your money. They can sell the product and take the money, go and park the bicycle somewhere and then run away. So these are some of the things. So when this happens, what are the strategies that you do to get the people back and retrieve your money? So you must be able to get the recovery strategies in place so that when this thing happens, you know where to pass. So number one, I was advised that you get a form, know where the people live, so that in case of anything, you know where to track them to get your money back. Yes. Now, when your business go down, maybe, for instance, maybe there's doom so, and all your yogurt go bad. How do you get back? So all these things, you have to put them in paper. You have to have your recovery plan on paper so that when you get there, you know what to do. Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, well, apart from a recovery plan, which you're supposed to get before, what other thing? And you mentioned assessment. The assessment, is it part of the recovery plan, or once you face a downturn, then you try to assess?
So once you have your recovery strategy, you have your questionnaires, or you have your parameters, your goals, your objectives, how you want to bounce back. You are actually going to do assessment of what went right, what went bad. So you see how you started. You see the things that you have done, things that you have invested, things that you didn't invest, things that how you were making it, how things were going down. So you do all these assessments, you do all this analysis, then you arrive at a conclusion before you get back to your feet again.
Okay, you were helping out with some strategies. What other strategies?
Pardon?
I'm saying you were giving us some strategies. What other strategies can we talk about?
Yeah, so you must also see whether to diversify. For instance, if you are into a food industry, That maybe people are not patronizing your food again. Now we are in a technological era. One, you can have the mindset by adopting technology. Maybe your business, a whole month, 2 months, a year, people are not buying your product. People are not buying your food. You can just jump to social media and then advertise your product over there and then adopt delivery system. If you are into coffee broke man business, you must one way or the other see how to repackage your product. The way maybe your stand is not nice, you can rebrand the place. Yes, the way you dress, you must also look at the way you dress. The location where you are doing the business, you must also look at the location. These are some of the things that you have to look at. If you are into maybe chewing stick business, you are selling around East Legon, where you tie it with rope and you are selling on a trail, people are not buying. Why don't you go and then rebrand it by getting containers and put them inside, and then you begin to sell? You are selling granules in Thai rubber, and then people are not buying. Why don't you go and look for containers and put the granules inside, and then package them very well and then sell them out? If you are into education, maybe you are running a school, people are not coming, and the school is going down every blessed day. Why don't you change the strategy by introducing some kind of innovation, by introducing some kind of talent shows, you add some talent to your school, or you go around outreach program looking for students and then talking to parents, the benefit that they can get. So when you are going down, that is not the end of your system. You must have a recovery plan strategy to put in place. How quickly you can bounce back, how you can get to the field, how you can get your business back. So these are some of the things that you can pay. You can go on Google Ads or Facebook Ads, get your business there. Let people get to know what you have been doing, and people will get to know your business. These are some of the things that you can do.
And that is in line with so the ones you just mentioned are more like marketing, advertising, right?
Yes. So
okay.
Once your business is going down, it means that people are no more having interest in your food, in your product, in your business. So yes. Another one too is to check your workers. Sometimes they are rude to the workers, to the customers. Sorry. Sometimes they are rude to the customers. Sometimes they are not friendly. So you must also look at your workers. You must look at them very well, and then you must.
How do you mean?
Yeah. So for instance, if I get your institution to transact a business and your workers are not friendly, maybe their behavior can even turn a customer off to go back. So when the business is going down, doing assessment, you must also look at your workers and see whether they have the right competency to work over there or not. Sometimes people look at cheap labor and then they employ the wrong people. So you must also look at that to see whether that is what is affecting your business or not.
Okay. So apart from your workers, what else?
Apart from your workers, you must. I spoke about your financial your expenditure. You must not spend your profit and spend your capital that you invest in your business as well. Once you are spending your profits and you realize that you are touching your capital that you invest in the work, know that the business is going down. So you must find another way to invest in the business. And another thing is that a lot of people think that the capital that you invest in the business, the profits must come for you to use to pay people. No. When you are investing, the capital that you are going to invest, you must also get some money aside to pay your workers. Don't immediately start using the profit that you are getting from the business to pay your workers. Other than that, you will not know, you can't invest properly into the business. So if you start a business, you must have money aside. If it is 12 months that you think that your business can stand on its feet, just put 12 months salary down. Know how much you are going to pay yourself. know how much you are going to pay your workers, get money aside, and use that money to be paying your workers, whilst the capital that you invest in the business, every return you use them to invest in the business back. When the business starts to grow, now you can now get back to the business and then use the surplus to be paying your workers. But if you start business and you are using the little profit that you are getting to pay your workers, then you should know that you might not get money to invest in your business, and it can affect your business.
Yeah. That's something that we need to look at. Are there other things you'd want to mention? We'll take a quick break very soon, and then when we return, we'll try to understand a few other things before we go. But is there any other one you want to mention?
So when your business is going down to, sometimes don't forget that your creditors will also be on your nerves. If maybe you have taken a loan, they will be on your nerves. So one thing that you have to do is that you must also renegotiate your payment plan with them. You must renegotiate your payment plan with them. And then you must also close all your financial leakages. And don't forget that once you are doing business, there will always be a financial leakage. When I talk of financial leakages, we are talking about those that you are working with. Some of them can be stealing you might not know. So you must find a way of blocking the financial leakages to avert some of these challenges, so that and you must also boost the morale of your workers. There are some people will be working with you, and every day your attitude towards them is not welcoming. You must look at that. You must change your attitude towards them. Other than that, when your attitude is so rude to them, they can relax and their productivity will also go down. When productivity go down, it can also affect your institution heavily. So these are some of the things that you have to look at.
Right. Okay. Exactly 29 after 9. This is a Business Breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM with me, Trevi Hammond. And this morning we're talking about strategies for reviving businesses after a downturn. And I'm having this conversation with Eric Kwejo Gota. At this point, we'll take a quick break. We've spoke extensively about some of the things that you have to do, and he's mentioned some great stuff. The videos on YouTube at Zed Multimedia, and also on Facebook at ZFMGH. You could always go check it out. We'll take a quick music break. When we return, I have some few questions to ask Eric Gota before we go, but you can as well join the conversation. I'm going to announce a number when we return, and then you can send us a text or a call. Maybe I should just do that. So 0544321019, 0544321019. You can send me a WhatsApp text. If you have a question you want us to ask him, you can send it. When we return, we'll do that. 0544321019. Also, we are streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and on YouTube at Zed Multimedia. We will do all to read your comments over there as well if you drop them there. So please feel free to send in some comments, some questions, some contribution, and we'll do all to read them for you. Well, we'll take this break now, and then we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Well, I say they must run and come in. I know the zero is back for the dance and sing. I know they must come here and let off some steam. Mister. Why the people don't can live together? Every day we see you fight one another. Why you can't say we are birds of a feather? Night and day them a fight and the girls them love them figure, sweet like sugar. Yes, because you know so me have the flavor, so me say come get around. Now me say come get around. Now me say come get around. Now me say come get around and follow my sound. Me say come get around. Now me say come get around. Now me say come get around. Now me say come get around and follow my sound. Me say.
Business Radio.
I was one who never had and always mad. Never knew my dad. Motherfucker, where anywhere I did pick up, lift and click up, sip any stickers. Cause British had to trigger hiccups. I couldn't get a job, nappy hair was not allowed. My mother couldn't afford us, all she had to throw me out. I walked the strip, which is a clip who wanna hit. They got him quick, I had to eat this money, split and spit. I threw in praise, I wasn't paid enough. I kept them low cause I couldn't afford a haircut. I got laughed at, I got chumped, I got dissed. I got upset, I got a tick and a banana clip. Was down to throw the lead to any dealer Jack can. I still
lifestyle lurcher and business radio. It's your lifestyle lurcher and business radio.
Zed 101.9 FM.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on a business breakfast on Zed 101.9 FM, exactly 39 after 9. And we will try to wrap up our conversation this morning. But we've been speaking to Eric Kwajugota, and he is a lecturer. He is also a PhD candidate at the University of South Africa, and he's an entrepreneur. He's helping us this morning with strategies for recovering and reviving businesses after a downturn. Now, many businesses will struggle their way back to back on their feet after experiencing a downturn, and it is very important for us to have this conversation. We've had the first part of the conversation already. If you just tuned in, you can still send us a WhatsApp on 0544321019, 0544321019. Or you can call me on 03039 56641, 03039 56641, and we'll give you an opportunity to be part of the conversation. We've said a lot of things. I just want to pick his final thoughts on a few other things, and then we can wrap up this morning. But we're streaming live on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. You can visit and watch us on those portals. Well, Eric, welcome back.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Great. We've said a lot of things. I just want us to do a quick one on a few other questions that I have, and then we can wrap up this morning. Well, I know mindset plays a very major role in reviving businesses, especially for young entrepreneurs. What role would you say that mindset plays in doing that?
So that is the psychological setting of every human being. So, for instance, maybe you have seen somebody fail, so you think that you might also fail. You have seen somebody who have done well, you might think that you can also do well. So, what happens within our environment actually contributes or influences a lot of our decision making. So, when it comes to business, yes, mindset works greatly. People think that once they are into business, that is all. They can't get anything. Maybe they cannot. Their business cannot go down. Let's put it in quotes like that. That they think that their business cannot go down. But you see, all these things come from the mind, the way they have seen things around them, the way they have seen other people, their business.
Hello. All right, I think we lost Eric right there. We'll try and reconnect him very, very soon. we have Eric back on the line. Eric, thank you very much for coming back. Eric, so you're telling us how the role mindset plays in recovering or reviving your business.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier, that what we see in our environment, what we see others do, what happened to them, we also believe that all those things also affect people's decision making or influence their decision making. For instance, you have seen somebody into business because the person is building houses from the onset. You also thought that, okay, the profit you are making, you can also make business. You can also build houses. You see somebody making business, making it for his or her business, and the person is buying luxurious cars. Then you too, you have just started making something small. Then you too start buying luxurious car. Especially the young men also using the money, thinking that somebody is traveling, chilling around, so they also want to use their money to chill around, thinking the business is going. Look, all these things are mindset, and it must be worked on. When you see somebody operating or doing a business, and the person is living luxury, you might not know what the person is doing to his or her business. So if you want to follow those things, you may also fail. You may also fail your business. So mindset actually has a lot of effect when it comes to business. And how can we correct some of these things? One, through education, awareness creation. So we have to get seminars, we have to get webinars, we have to, like what you are doing right now with your airways. A lot of people are listening. You have to get to understand that when you start business, one, don't look at what others are doing for you also to follow. Number two, don't think that once you start a business, the business cannot fail. Every business is bound to can fail. Once a business grows, a business can also fail. And when a business gets to its peak, mostly a lot of people don't think again. They think that they have arrived, and that is not it. When a business gets to its growth stage, you see people celebrating, jubilating around that. Oh, now they are okay, whatever. Look, that is the time for you to go back and then put your strategies in place. That is the time for you to go back and look at the things that you can do to sustain the business at that stage. But when sometimes people get their business grow, people are praising them, then they become too. Some of them pride takes over. Then they forget where they started from. They forget how they pull people along before their business get to that place. They forget all these things, and before they realize, they see their business is going down. So the most important aspect is that people should not be looking at what others are doing. They can also adopt a niche for themselves. They can also adopt a unique way of doing things for themselves. If somebody is driving car with their little business, they can be taking Trotsky to work. If you don't need a car for your rounds, just take Trotsky and go to work. Save money. When you get to your growth stage, you can get car for yourself. When somebody has just started and the person is using car, don't think that because the person has just started and using car, so you are also equal to that person. So we have to work on our mindset. That look, our environment that we find ourselves in different, even though it's the same country, but we find ourselves from different backgrounds, different environments. So what will be good for somebody might not be good for you. So we should stop copying people. And then do whatever, and then let's affiliate our mind on our goal, what we can achieve.
All right, very important, very important. Let's talk about financial recovery briefly. I think one of the things we spoke about earlier was our finances, which is a very important part of recovery. I want to know your opinion on this one. Is it always necessary to seek external funding during recovery, or can some businesses grow organically out of crisis?
Yes, for instance, running a Okada business, and then maybe, for instance, you have only one bike, and maybe you are not saving money that much because of family pressure and co. And then maybe you park your motorbike and somebody run away with your motorbike. How do you bounce back? How do you work? First of all, if you don't have any money anywhere, you can seek for assistance. You can seek for assistance. Or some people you can also go and get somebody's bike and be working for the person who can pay us and raise some fund and buy your own bike. But normally, if you want to bounce back, just get financial assistance externally and then start growing your business. Yes, so you can also seek support from people, from banks or creditors, and bounce back. That is one of the things that you can do, because when your business goes down, it means that your capital has also gone down. You don't have money to bounce back, so you must sit back. But sometimes you might have little funds with you. You can start with that fund. So there are other things that you can do with that fund. When you invest funds back, what you have to do is that if it is money that you have borrowed to start a business and you have to be paying your creditors or your debtors, people who you have borrowed from, what you have to do is that you have to go and renegotiate with them. Because if you have that little money that you have to invest back in the work, and then you also have to be paying the people that you are owing, I think the little profit that you'll be making, you'll be using to pay, and then your workers, you'll be using the little capital that is left to be paying them. So go back to the people that you have borrowed from. Just renegotiate with them. Tell them that they should give you maybe a little time for you to start paying. And with that, the little money that you have, you can use that money to bounce back. Then you must also cut down some unnecessary expenditures within your quarters. Some things that you invest money in unnecessarily, you must also look at them. That is one way that you can recover. Maybe if you are paying some allowances that are not needed, you can talk to your workers and then reduce and cut those allowances off. If maybe you have rented apartment that is 5,000, you can look at renting an apartment that is a bit lower than that. If your workers are too many, you can go in for redundancy. You can at least ask some of them to stay back, and then you call them, maybe you pay them off, and then within, maybe you tell them 1 year or 2 years, you call them back, or you don't call them back again. So you reduce your workers. In that sense, salary payment will also the money that will go into salary will also reduce. So financially, it's not necessary that you should always go out there for loan out there to come and then bounce back with your business. Once you have some few funds there, when the business was going down, it's not all the money that you have invested that have gone down to the grave. So just go back, pick those money, and then you do these few things. You will be able to bounce back. And you must also seek for expert advice. When you get to this time, seek expert advice. That this is the little you have. Should you close down? No. Should I invest this business, or should I invest this money, or I should go in for loan? So the experts will also give you their good advice on this, how to recover your business financially. So it's not every day, not necessarily that you should go in for external assistance. You can depend on the small thing that you have to bounce back.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. Maybe finally, what's one piece of advice you always give your students when it comes to failure and recovery in business before we go?
Yeah, so for my students, one thing that I used to tell them is that this life, nobody will motivate you. You have to motivate yourself. And if you cannot motivate yourself, then it means that it will be very difficult for you to go forward. There are times that you see things going bad in your life. People will not be there to motivate you. So you have to sit back, reflect, and motivate yourself that, yes, I can. Then you pick up the pieces and then you move. So I always tell them that I always tell them, save money, get the right business done. Don't say people, because people are doing this, let me also do that. There was one that went into the mobile money business. I advise that not because people are going to mobile money business, that will also be good for you. She went ahead to invest in mobile money business. And then fraudsters came to take 27,000 plus away. And that was the end of the business. How do you bounce back? So I told them, look, don't just follow what people are doing.
Right.
Look at your capacity. Look at your capabilities. Look at what you can do. If something happens, how do you pick yourself back? And I think most of them, these are working for them. Know the kind of people to bring together as friends. Know the people to employ as workers. Know the person to entrust your business into his or her hand. And always remember, don't involve your family into your 100% assets. And always remember, don't involve 100% of your church members in your business. It can affect you.
All right. Eric, thank you very much for your time this morning. We are so grateful for the insights and for your time.
I'm very grateful for the opportunity. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, we're grateful. All right. Okay, that was Eric Kwejuguta. He was our guest this morning on the roundtable discussion. And we spoke about strategies for reviving your business after a downturn. Very important conversation we've had this morning. And he shared some powerful insights. They spoke about financial restructuring. They spoke about advertising and marketing. But sometimes it is not based on external shocks. But there are also some self-inflicted downturns when it comes to business. And a major one of them is that don't involve family and don't also involve church members. Well, particularly, I've also heard a story around that there was a man that involved a church member, and the church member squandered everything. I mean, it doesn't mean church members are bad anyway, but just be careful. And downturns can happen to anybody at all, any business at all. And so you need a recovery plan if you want to be able to do it well and be able to recover after that downturn. Then have a recovery plan ahead of time. So that's how we wrap up this morning's edition of the Business Breakfast on Zed. We are back again tomorrow. It's exactly 6:15. My name is Nietzsche Ebi Hammond, and it's been great driving you right from 6:15 till now. Please enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of our programs here on Zed 101.9 FM. And when you think Ghana, please think Zed. See you tomorrow.